The Warriors stopped Luka Doncic with an incredible strategy that has many people tabbing Kerr as the Bill Belichick of basketball. Based around Luka Doncic, the Dallas Mavericks 5-out offense, aka Luka Ball, took out the Jazz and the Suns by spreading out the floor and getting Luka to attack the weakest defenders of the other teams, creating advantages and easier scoring opportunities for his teammates. Luka can hit you with step-back threes, walk down smaller defenders in the lane, post up anybody one-on-one, back down 7-footers and hit turnaround pull-ups, and then laugh as he does whatever he wants on the floor. If you try and blitz him, he has the passing ability to get it to an open teammate and play 4-on-3. 5-out spacing with Kleba and Dorian Finney-Smith at the 5 makes closeouts and protecting the rim extremely difficult and nullified the strengths of bigs like Gobert, Ayton, and McGee. So what do the Warriors do to stop Luka Ball? Well, a combination of clever schemes, using Draymond's elite defensive ability, and one huge adjustment that completely changed this series. Andrew Wiggins was the primary defender on Luka for the 5 games, and setting the tone early by picking him up full court. Now, doing this was not to force turnovers or put even extra pressure on Luka, but just to make him work extra, bringing the ball up the court, and use more valuable time on the shot clock. Wiggins ended up mirroring Luka's minutes after the Warriors tried Clay on Luka at the end of the first quarter of Game 2. After botching 2 straight pick and rolls involving Clay and Steph that led to easy Luka layups, Kerr put Wiggins back in the game and never came off the floor when Luka was on the court. Now, the Dallas Mavericks led the NBA playoffs by taking 40% of their shots from 3, converting 38% of them. So it makes sense that the Warriors made it a priority to take away every 3-point look the Mavs had. Wait, no, the Warriors actually used the opposite of that strategy. That's right, the Warriors made it a priority to stop as many drives to the rim as possible, leave the worst shooters open, taking above the break threes, and do as good a job as they can while contesting and maintaining their defensive discipline. In fact, Dallas shot 50% of their shots from 3, up 3% from the rest of the playoffs against the Warriors, and their shots at the rim dropped from 20% to 15%, stopping the Mavs' drives at the rim first, then trying to close out to as many 3-point shooters as possible while leaving the worst shooters open. Now, it's truly a pleasure to watch Draymond Green play defense. The linchpin to the Warriors' defense on the way to their 6th finals in 8 years, he completely controls the game like a linebacker in control of an NFL defense. Much has been made about how the Celtics have been using Robert Williams in a roaming role and how that change sparked their defense, but Draymond's been used like this for years. No matter who he's defending, he will always help and try and stop the ball in the lane to protect the rim. When weaker defenders like Poole and Curry were put in actions or beaten off the dribble, he would help in the lane and be prepared to stop any player driving, then fly out of the paint to contest any 3-point shooters that are open. Helping off of the corners, helping on rollers to the rim, sliding over on Luka's drives, Draymond was always in the right position to prevent the Mavs from scoring at the rim. Seamlessly moving from defending the wing to the low man and recognizing whether or not the player is a 3-point threat. Look here, Clay and Draymond interchange. Draymond recognizes the help, and then on the kick out, Clay won't leave Kleba in the corner, and Draymond doesn't even bother to close out on Ntilikina. While this is an extreme example, the Warriors based this strategy off leaving the worst 3-point shooters on the floor to try and beat them. So if the player in the corner is Dorian Finney-Smith, who shoots 45% from corner threes, they would give up a wide open 3 to Bullock, a 35% shooter from above the break. But frankly, it didn't matter who the shooters were. The Warriors were going to help in the paint regardless and not allow the Mavs to score at the rim. Because Draymond and the Warriors' back line were so prepared to help on those drives, the Warriors could use a couple different coverages when defending Luka when he was matchup hunting. When he hunted Curry or Poole, the Warriors would hedge, hard hedge in particular, and it is such a breath of fresh air to see a defense not give the other team a switch they want. Hedging Curry is not new after facing LeBron and Harden for years, but hedging like this is rare with teams preferring to switch to slow down their opponents. But the Warriors were not going to give Luka anything and not the switch he wanted, and they attempted to keep Wiggins on Luka as much as possible. If the hedge was beat, now it did not have as much impact on the Warriors' defensive system, since any downhill drives, there was a low man like Draymond or Ludi waiting in help, then the other players rotating off of it to the 3-point line to not allow the Mavericks to get into their ball movement and player movement. Luka's spread pick and roll game is probably the hardest to guard in the NBA. When playing conventional coverage, he can absolutely wreck your defensive system and pick you apart with one play. So the Warriors needed to take this away and also limit any impact that Powell could have when he did play. Switching the ball screen, switching their bigs in pick and roll was the solution. This also took the pick and pop threat of Kleba away and forced them to play one-on-one. And the Warriors were fine with switching Draymond, but even Looney and Bjelica in Game 5. Looney especially was impressive in this switching of how he held up. For me, the most impressive part was his ability to stay in front of Luka, but also not biting on the pump fakes and shot fakes that Luka throws at you, and then the ability to contest threes, a shot the Warriors are going to be willing to give up because Luka only shoots 36% from three. One of the more unique ways the Warriors switched against the Mavericks 5-out was peel switching on drives. With confidence in Looney and Draymond in switches, this gave the Warriors another weapon on drives or advantages to not get completely burned in drive and kick opportunities. When a player drives to the rim, and the philosophy of helping to stop the ball like the Warriors have, the player who is beat or flies out at shooters recovers to the next closest player. For example, here Draymond helps in the lane on this drive, and then on the kick out, jumps out on an aggressive closeout. Porter Jr. then stops the drive after attacking the closeout. Now instead of recovering back to the paint, Draymond sprints to Dinwiddie, so now Poole and Clay don't have to have any extra rotations and the play ends in a turnover. Hunting Curry versus hedging, here Brunson short rolls. Draymond helps off a Bullock on the wing in the lane, like we talked about him helping off of anybody, to stop the drive, and now Curry recovers back to Bullock with Clay staying at home. Nobody else has to help, nobody else has to rotate, and now the play stalls out as Clay blocks the corner three. These peel switches allow for the Warriors to stop the drives of the Mavericks, and in combination stop the advantage that the Mavericks could have had. There could not be a more perfectly designed defense against the Mavericks 5-out than the Warriors 3-2 zone, a defense they have used all season. The formation of the 3 players up top and the 2 players low on the blocks matches the 5 players spaced out on the floor and also eliminates most of the advantage of a zone attack from the high post and in ball screens. The 3 players up top are the guards, so hiding Steph and Poole on the court at the same time is easier, and they have the responsibility to take the ball and stay in gaps to help on drives. They take the ball if the ball's on the wing. If the ball is opposite, the middle player sits in the high post and the opposite wing plays in space to help on skip passes or flashes. When playing the bottom of the zone, the player on the ball side splits the corner and the block to play in space and is ready to help on drives first. The opposite block is in the middle or shading towards ball side to be in help with the rim and then close out to the other corner. An easy way to look at this is the players up top cover the wings and high post, and the players low cover the blocks and corners. And the idea is to not allow any driving lanes for Luka to attack through. Now what made this defense really tough to navigate is that the Warriors morphed this zone to match up with where the offense is located. So if the Mavs overloaded to one side or the other, the Warriors shifted their zone to match up with that alignment and take away anything they might create through that advantage. Another wrinkle the Warriors used against Luka was a box-and-one zone defense, which typically is ran in high school and lower levels until, well, Nick Nurse came to the NBA. The premise of this defense is simple. One player denies Luka the ball, and the other 4 are in a box formation at the elbows and the blocks to start. This was extremely useful against the Mavericks because the Warriors switched to these in after timeout situations, and a lot of the after timeout plays the Mavericks used was having Luka off the ball and coming off a dribble handoff. Here he comes off a handoff in their turn action, so the box and one nullifies a lot of what this does because it denies Luka on the initial pass, and then also the help is automatically there when he tries to turn the corner. Now this functions similar to the 3-2 zone with basically the same responsibilities for the other 4 players. They basically take the middleman out of the zone to deny and defend Luka one-on-one. Now the biggest and most impactful change of this series came in Game 2. Steph Curry started off in Games 1 and 2 defending Reggie Bullock. So when the Mavericks hunted him, which they did a ton of, Curry would then hedge and then leave a very good pick and pop 3-point shooter with a quick release. So when Curry hedged, the pick and pop threes were open. Bullock hit 2 pick and pop threes. After a timeout, Steve Kerr and the Warriors decided to switch the matchup and put Steph Curry on Dorian Finney. Now this move was big for several reasons, but the main reason is Dorian Finney-Smith is an elite corner 3-point shooter, knocking down 46% of corner threes, but a below average above the break shooter, converting only 35% of non-corner threes in the regular season. This also changed the location of the ball screens, with Dorian Finney-Smith setting more 21 or step-up screens to get Curry involved. So tweaking both of those changed the way the Mavericks offense operated and allowed basically the Warriors to kind of hide Curry a little bit easier because Dorian Finney-Smith likes to roll and mix in short rolls as well. Now, when he sets the ball screen, mixing in these short rolls means the Warriors encourage that, so they push the ball into the lane and go into their help defensive system and now allow the Warriors to take away any of those pick and pop 3 opportunities. This also meant that Curry could be a little more aggressive on his hedges, so he could hold the hedge a little bit longer, allowing more time for Wiggins to recover. And then when Dorian Finney-Smith decided he wanted to roll, Draymond could use his help defensive instincts, collapse on that roll, and nullify any quick advantage that they would have attacking Curry one-on-one in these scenarios. The combination of Wiggins picking up Luka full court, Steph and Poole's hedging, Looney's stellar one-on-one defense and switching, and Draymond's incredible help defensive instincts while switching up the defensive looks has the Warriors advancing to the NBA Finals. Thank you so much for watching this breakdown. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, share with others. I have an extended breakdown in Coach's Cut where I go over some more film and some different observations that I made that I couldn't post here in this YouTube video. Thank you so much. I look forward to doing more.